The beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake has escalated into a full-blown war. They have been throwing everything at each other, from diss tracks to crazy accusations and violent threats. While Kendrick Lamar and Drake push each other to artistic heights with the fire songs, this beef has produced way more conflict than expected. And I'm sure for most of us, this was all fun and games and a good old regular rap beef. But the recent news of actual violence makes us wonder if Kendrick Lamar went too far with this one. Hey, my name is Elroy, and I'm going to be talking about the recent rivalry between Kendrick and Drake. But before we get into all that, let us start from the very beginning and understand how all of this even started. The beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar is a complex story that unfolds over a decade, starting around 2011 when Drake invited Kendrick Lamar to collaborate on his album Take Care. This started their initial friendship, with Kendrick appearing on the track Buried Alive with Drake, who even invited him to go on tour. The collaboration went well with Kendrick, later featuring Drake on his critically acclaimed 2012 album Good Kid, Mad City on the track Poetic Justice. Sparks started to fly out of nowhere when in 2013 Kendrick released his verse on Big C's track Control. Here, Kendrick called out several rappers, including Drake, challenging them and claiming superiority in the rap game. This verse set the hip-hop community ablaze and was seen as a direct challenge to many, especially Drake. Although Drake initially downplayed the significance of the verse, the competitive nature of the lyrics were explicit, and it marked the beginning of the more strained relationship between the two. Over the following years, both artists seemed to take subtle digs at each other through their music and interviews. For instance, Kendrick's track King Kunta and verses in Dr. Dre's Compton album contain lines many interpreted as jabs at Drake. In alleged response, Drake's tracks The Language and others from this album, If You're Reading This It's Too Late, were thought to contain references to Kendrick, although none were outright. The tension seemed to simmer at a low level until major public events stirred the pot. At the 2014 Grammy Awards, when Macklemore won over Kendrick, Drake criticized Macklemore's public apologies to Kendrick, calling them cheap. This incident started further rivalry. Much more recently, the beef seemed to be reunited with the track First Person Shooter. In this song, J. Cole and Drake addressed their status in the rap game, referencing the big three of hip-hop, including himself, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. Instead of receiving it as some form of flattery, Kendrick didn't take it lightly, especially since he was rumored to have been initially featured on the track. The song was seen as adding fuel to the existing tensions, and by placing themselves at the top of the industry, J. Cole and Drake indirectly challenged Kendrick's position. Kendrick's response to the sentiments expressed in First Person Shooter was to release the tracks that dismissed the notion of triple threat at the top of hip-hop, instead asserting his individual superiority, particularly with his verse on the track Like That, from the joint album by Future and Metro Boomin. The following back and forth jabs have made the feud between Drake and Kendrick one of the most followed narratives in modern hip-hop. After a few weeks of silence, Drake responded with a surprise release titled Push-Ups, which featured the lyrics challenging Kendrick's authenticity and hip-hop scene. You ain't in no big three, Caesar got you wiped down, Travis got you wiped down, Savage got you wiped down. Like your label, boy, you in the scope right now, and you gonna feel the aftermath of what I write down. I'm at the top of the mountain, so you tight now. Just to have this talk with yo, I had to hike down. Big difference between Mike then and Mike now. Drake also went after Lamar's work on pop songs, suggesting that his ventures into pop music diminished his credibility as a rap artist, including a brief jab at Rick Ross. I might take your latest girl and cuff her like I'm Ricky. Can't believe he jumping in this turning 50. Every song that made it on the chart, he got from Drizzy. Rick Ross quickly responded with his own diss track, accusing Drake of having undergone plastic surgery. But let's try to stay on topic here. While waiting for Kendrick Lamar to respond to his diss track, Push-Ups, Drake released Tailor Made Freestyle, which shortly included AI-generated voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Although the inclusion of these AI voices led to a notice of Tupac's estate and the voice got removed in his lyrics, Drake suggested Lamar's silence was strategic, time to avoid clashing with the release of an album by Taylor Swift. hinting at industry politics influencing their interactions. He implies that Lamar needs Swift's approval before releasing his music, which Swift, known for avoiding controversial and rap disputes, has not commented on. Snoop Dogg also reacted to the song on Instagram. 10 days later, Lamar responded with the song Euphoria, which shares a title with the HBO series that Drake produces. Lamar destroys Drake, throwing around pure hatred and leaving nothing unsaid. The attack ranged from Drake's poor parenting, "I got a son to raise, but I can see you know nothing about that," to his rumored plastic surgery, didn't tell him where you get your abs from, and his rap abilities. "You're not a rap artist, you a scam artist with the hopes of being accepted." He also called out Drake's use of AI and appeared to confuse actor Haley Joel Osment with Joel Osteen. "Am I battling Ghost or AI? Feeling like Joel Osteen, funny he was in the film called AI." Throwing shade at Drake's penchant for using times and locations in his song's titles. 616 in LA arrived just days after Euphoria, delivering on the track's promise to go back to back. It was notably produced by Jack Antonoff, which acknowledged Drake's repeated Taylor Swift references. In the song, he claims to have operatives inside Drake's label rapping. "Have you ever thought that OVO was working for me? Fake bully. I hate bullies. You must be a terrible person. Everyone inside your team is whispering that you deserve it." Drake counters soon enough with the extensive track Family Matters, spanning nearly 8 minutes. In it, he insinuated that Kendrick Lamar's child might not be his own, but instead fathered by his manager, Dave Free. The track also scrutinized Lamar's relationship with his fiancée, Whitney Alford, accusing him of infidelity and abuse with lyrics like, "You're the black messiah, wifing up a mixed queen, and hit vanilla cream to help out with your self-esteem. On some Bobby shit, I want to know what Whitney need, and when you put your hands on your girl, is it self-defense because she's bigger than you?" 1 hour later, Drake released Family Matters. Kendrick Lamar quickly fired back with Meet the Grahams, barely giving us time to even digest the first. This track continued the trend of targeting each other's families. In it, Lamar sends a message to Drake's son, Adonis, expressing sympathy that Drake is his father. Additionally, the track revives rumors by allegedly that Drake has a secret daughter. Drake addressed this claim on his Instagram story shortly after writing, "Nah, hold on. Can someone find my hidden daughter please and send her to me? These guys are in shambles." Lamar also circled back to his cosmetic procedure digs, rapping, "Get some discipline. Don't cut the corners like your daddy did. F what Ozympia did. Don't pay to play with them Brazilians. Get a gym membership." Less than 24 hours after dropping Meet the Grahams, Lamar had even more to express with his extensive follow-up, Not Like Us. In it, he makes the craziest accusations so far against Drake, with lyrics like "certified lover boy," "certified pedophiles." "Say Drake, I hear you like 'em young. You better not even go to the cell block 1. And trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. While all these rap lines sound profound and all, some on Twitter have accused Lamar of stealing them from creators on the platform. Oh, and before the song ends, he circles back to Drake's use of AI to recreate Tupac's voice on again. Tailor-made freestyle rapping. "You think the Bay gonna let you disrespect Pac? I think the Oakland show gonna be your last stop." In this power-packed hip-hop diss, Drake has retorted to Kendrick's counter, to Drake's response to Kendrick's reply, and yes, the beat goes on and on. Drake's The Heart Part 6 cleverly riffs on Kendrick Lamar's own The Heart series, which Lamar has featured across several of his albums. The last statement from Lamar included in his album Mr. Mortal and the Big Steppers featured a striking music video with using AI deepfakes of well-known figures such as O.J. Simpson and Kanye West. It seems that the AI themes continue to thread through ongoing feud. In the latest entry by Drake, he spins a narrative by claiming that the rumors of his hidden daughter were actually concocted by his own team as a part of a deceptive strategy. But then again, it seems Drake gains a new child every time he gets in beef. You gotta learn how to fact check things and be less impatient, he raps. On the plus side, the ongoing feud between these artists and their exchanges had a major impact on both their careers in multiple ways. Each diss track released by Drake and Kendrick has gained substantial media attention, keeping both artists in the spotlight, and has actively engaged their fan base, sparking debates and discussions across social media platforms. The rivalry has also arguably pushed both artists to sharpen their lyrical and musical skills, giving us some crazy tracks. Both artists have also seen a spike in streaming numbers as listeners tune in to hear the latest in the feud and even go back to old songs to compare. For instance, tracks like Kendrick's The Heart Part 4 and Drake's Response have performed so well commercially, so while both artists are on each other's necks, it's just fun and games for fans and listeners. But the situation between Drake and Kendrick Lamar escalated beyond lyrical sparring, with incidents of violence were reported, with rumors of Kendrick being responsible. Drake's OVO store in London was vandalized with the words "They not like us" inscribed on the window, but that was nothing compared to the more alarming incident that occurred when Drake's home in Toronto was targeted in a drive-by shooting, resulting in injuries to one of Drake's bodyguards. These events marked a serious turn in the feud, moving in from the artist rivalry into real-world consequences, and many saying Kendrick went too far. But I'd like to know what you guys think.